Hello there. I thought I would start my Tales from My Tub series again, now that it's a little colder outside and I don't feel so horrible taking baths. um, this story, I think I'm going to tell you, is about a gentleman that I got to know quite well when I was working at the nursing home up on the hill here. I worked at the nursing home until 2008, 2009, I can't remember which. And I started off on night shift. And the one gentleman that I got to know, his name was Mel. And he was a night owl. He had cancer, like they found a tumor in his jaw, so he was in a lot of pain, he didn't sleep a lot. So he'd get up at nighttime and come and have coffee with us a lot. And his thing, when we worked up there, it was usually me and another girl, like a co-worker that I got to know, and actually I'm friends with now, her name's Amy. Whenever we would come on shift, he would wait until everyone else was gone, and he'd sneak out and come and have coffee with us, and try and get us in trouble, I guess, I don't know. Try and make us not do our job, kind of thing. You know, we're supposed to be cleaning and making desserts and muffins for the morning, kind of thing. But he would always come out and try and spend an hour at least disturbing us, just because he was that kind of guy. It was so funny. He would come out all the time, and it took us a little while to catch on. He'd have this big empty pill bottle that he would have in his pocket, and he'd come out and we'd pour him a coffee and we'd sit down with him, and when we weren't looking, he'd pour some rum into his coffee from this little pill bottle. But yeah, once we caught on to that, we kept telling him, Mel, you know, we're not supposed to let you do that. Yeah, but you, the heck would he used to say? Yeah, but you won't tell anyone, you like me. Which we did, we loved him. One thing that he loved to do is when we finally said, Mel, we gotta get back to work, so we'll see you later, we'll talk to you later. He would go around the lodge and try to scare us, because he knew, like, we knew of all the ghosts that were around, because there are a lot of ghost stories in a nursing home, I tell you. There's quite a few, but this is one of my favorites, so I'm going to share this one. I'll share other ones later. So that was his thing. He used to love to sneak up on us as quietly as he could, and he'd wear his slippers, and he'd scare the hell out of us to the point where we'd jump and scream. And then he'd just sit there and laugh and laugh. And he always said, he goes, if I die in this home and you girls are still here, I am going to come back and I'm going to haunt you for real. So yeah, we kept saying, oh Mel, you're never going to die. You're such a spry person for your age. You know, like he was just always jokey, always very lively. Like, you know, he was vulgar, very vulgar. But he was always a favorite. Like, everyone was endeared to him. But anyway, after, I think it was about a year and a half, I was promoted from the night shift to head cook. So I came on the day shift. And one of the days while I was getting dinner ready, me and the other girls that, like my helper and a couple of the other people that were helping set up tables and stuff, we fed a nursing home of about 50 residents, roughly 50. And the whole time that I'd been there, no one had died. Like, when they died outside of the lodge. They, passed away in a hospital or whatever. And there were a number of ghost stories pertaining to past, residents who passed away. But during the day shift, you don't notice a lot, right? Anyway, sidetrack. Damn ADD. So anyway, I was working feverishly trying to get dinner ready, and at about quarter after 11, like we served probably about quarter to 12. Quarter after 11, our housekeeper came into the kitchen and pulled us aside and told us that she had just found Mel in his room, passed away. And so we were devastated, of course, but they didn't want, our manager didn't want anyone to know until after lunch, because by that time, like, a lot of the residents had started to come out of their rooms and into the main dining room. And, you know, it was hard for some of us, like especially me and Amy, because we were so close to him, like on the night shift. During the day shift, you don't have a lot of time to interact with the residents as much. So, you know them, but you don't really have a bond with them like we did with some of them on the night shift that would come out during the night. So, yeah, I was fighting back tears trying to get this dinner ready and on the go, like we're all somber and working feverishly trying to get everything done on time. And none of the residents out in the dining room knew yet that he'd passed away. I guess what happened was Joan had just gone in and it looked like he had just been sitting on the edge of his bed putting his slippers back on because he was going to come out for dinner. And he just fell back into the bed. So anyway, I don't know, like I think I went into the back room. Like we had a back pantry that faced the fridge and the like we had a walk-in fridge, walk-in pantry, and a walk-in freezer. And across the door from the freezer was the walk-in pantry. And I remember being in there alone, and I just kind of said, Mel, now's the time. You said you're going to show us. So, the heck did I say to him? I said, if you're here, let me know. And, nothing happened and whatever. We were just busy. And just as we started to serve dinner, we put it into the hot table, like sorry, itchy nose, into the, what do you call those, like the steam tray? Into the steam tray. And the dining room girl was starting to pour coffees, and just as I turned back towards the stove, a pot lifted up off the pot rack in the middle of the, I guess it's like we had a steel island in the middle of the kitchen. And this pot lifted up and banged on the counter and freaked the hell out of me. I turned around, the dining room girl turned around, and I had one of the, I think it was a housekeeper in there as well, trying to help me finish off. And then we just kind of jumped, but we were in such a panic to get everything out on time that we didn't really pay attention to it. We just kind of jumped, and then, it was so weird, because then as I was serving, we went up to the steam tray, and then they all kind of came up. The ones that could come up, they would come and get their meals, and we'd serve it to them from the kitchen. And as I was serving, that was when I just happened to overhear a table of 5 old ladies sitting right in front of the steam table on the other side of the dining room. And they were saying to each other, like, did you see that? That pot just lifted up by itself. No one was even near it, and it fell down and crashed. I know, and in my head I'm going, oh my God, did that really happen? So of course I thought, that's probably Mel. Like right in the middle of a dinner rush hour. It was just like totally Mel. And then, like my dining room lady, Pat, she was freaked right out at that point. Because she heard them talking too, and I kind of just looked at her and my eyes went wide and I went, oh my God. Because at this point, none of them knew that Mel had passed away. They just thought it was really strange that, nobody was even near the island, and this pot just suddenly lifted up off the hook and dropped to the counter with a smash like that. And right away I got goosebumps and I knew it was him. And then after we were done dishes, And we were talking about it, and I was telling Pat, I'm pretty sure that was Mel, because I asked him to give me a sign when I was in the pantry just before that happened. And she got goosebumps, and she thought it was all freaky too. Like, she was a 60-year-old lady. She was almost ready to retire, and she really believed in this stuff too. And then later on, I think I was in the middle of making soup for supper. That's what it was. That's the same day. And after the paramedics came from next door, like we were right beside the hospital, they came in and they got Mel out of the room, and we announced that he'd passed away just before lunch. And of course, the one lady at the front table that was talking there, I could see her just going, "Oh my God, do you think that was Mel?" I was just like, "Oh my God." Okay. So anyway, I'm in the middle of making soup, and I went into the fridge, and I grabbed something, and I was alone in the kitchen, so I kind of looked up to the air and said, "Mel, if you're still here, you can let me know if you're here." And as I come out of the kitchen, or sorry, the walk-in fridge, I kind of open the door, come out, and just as I closed the door, I turned around, I heard a sound in the pantry. I turned, looked in, and it was the box of Cheerios had fallen off the shelf onto the floor. And the interesting part about that is what Mel ate every morning for breakfast. So yeah, that's my Mel story. So I know he's still around. Pretty awesome. I love that man. Sure miss him. Okay, next time. Bye.